Hello, everybody. Welcome, 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 welcome. I was preparing some papers for tonight. So, hello, Cheryl. Hello, Matt. Hello, Billy. Hello, Lewis. Have I missed anybody? Are you guys the first four on The Price is Right? Greasy. There we go. All right. The first item up for bids. Oh, I have to have a good day. Have to. How am I doing? Okay, I guess. They are going to replace both my knees. And they want me to go to a vascular doctor first. So then they'll do the knees. So I'm pretty well going to be no, not at the same time. So I'm probably going to be pretty laid up most of the summer, which means I'll have more time on here. There you go. Mr. Mick. Hello, everybody. So, I thought tonight go over a few of the things that I got. Hey, Rocky, that Torsen sent today. Which very generous package, very, very generous. Thank you so much, Torsen and T's Guitars. And so I now have quad rails, P90s, 6 sets of tuners, and I'll never have to look for the 10 millimeter post screws ever again. I'm glad everybody's in here saying hi to each other. That's cool. That is so cool. Just like big hug from everybody. Well, I would have, but my wife no longer works from home, so I'll have to make it work. Cheryl, I've had everything done. Physical therapy, I've had meniscus. There is no, and this doctor was the first time I saw him today, and sorry about hitting the mic. He came in the room just like the other one did years ago, and he came in the chart, he's like, I would have expected you to be in a wheelchair. I'm like, well, I have a very high tolerance of pain, but it is reaching its limits. Because I used to be 5 years in the pain center, and but that was before the operation on the back. So, but I told him, I said I don't want to take pain medicine. That's why I got out of there. I said, and I can't. I'm to the point now where I really can't take it much more. So that's why I'm here. Which is one of the reasons why I never went to the NAMM show. Yes, Cheryl, and every step is grinding, and there's fragments floating around in there too. So, But now I guess I don't have to worry about going to the NAMM show. So, oh well. All right. So, oh wait. I can get to. Oh, it's right here. So I get there before 8 a.m. They take me in before 8 a.m. And I get there, and I am the only one in the waiting room. Then, yeah, I was the only one there. And when I come out, the place was full of people, the waiting room. But that's West Virginia University Hospital. So, I do not know why I took that photo. So, anyhow, all I got to do now is I got to wait for them to contact me about seeing the vascular doctor and then go through all that. Then from there, then we go. And the funny part is, this doctor is like, he was from Pittsburgh. He's only been at this hospital for about 9 months. But he knew the doctor who fixed the third operation that actually fixed the shoulder, but now it's 16 years later. He was a doctor who did all the shoulders and arms and stuff for the Steelers. And he's the one that fixed my shoulder this last time. Although it does need replaced now after 16 years because I did rip it all open again. But this doctor today knew that doctor. He worked with him in the orthopedic surgery center. So he's like, well, if Dr. Jewell did your shoulder, then that's like one of the best. So. Thank you, everybody. MPN, John. Cool. Thank you guys for hanging out. I will admit this. Now that I'm doing this show myself and trying to go live 6 out of 7 days, there's going to be a few shows where I just sit here and we just talk. Because once I get all my guitars caught up, if timing works out, then by the time the paint booth installed, the weather breaks, so there might not be any just talk shows, but you never know. I never know when I'm getting some of my customers coming in, and never know when I'm getting the guitars from both bands to show up. Usually that's a 1 or 2 day thing. It's like work 24 hours to get all of them done. So, but we'll we'll soldier on and go through it. But I know we had talked about. Oh, let's see. Derek's not here. No, wait. Hold on. Man, oh man. Okay. I can't win. Sit here all day long and wait, and nobody calls. But when I get ready to do a show, Roman Moroni never forget a Forkin face. Ian, I thought it was silenced. I don't know why the ringer came up. Yeah, it's locked. Hold on. Sorry about this. Okay. I can't win. And as far as I know, Dave will be here Friday. So Friday's show will probably be maybe 10 p.m. Eastern for a couple hours. And I'll try to get Dave on there. Or if not, he'll be in the background with headphones on playing the bass. So, okay. So I was hoping Derek would be here since he was the one that was talking about treble bleeds. And I wanted to show that is the headphones hitting the bracket for this. Yeah, it was our very first bass player. Actually, he's the bass player that started the band with me. And it's funny because, he had some issues to deal with, and that's why he didn't last in the band. But he ended up coming back as our light guy, which was really cool because he knew all the songs. So we had to kill our light shows. But him and I have stayed friends for, wow, 42 years now. Yes, I did get that, Mad. Thank you. Zach, I doubt it. Oh, backstage. Zach, hello. MPN, Ian. Um, I didn't realize when he put the meter on, or basically the angle finder, how much I've lost in straightening and bending. So, and I told him, I said, here at the house, so obviously I'm not going to do it out in public, but at the house, when I go up the steps, I said, it's easier for me to come down the steps backwards. It doesn't hurt as bad. And when I go up, I actually go on all fours like a dog. And he started laughing. He said last year his wife had both of her knees replaced, and she did the same thing, going up steps like that. And he said that's when she turned to me and said, "You know what? It's time." So, but I don't look for it. Thank you, DJ Play Nice. Oh, Uncle Raymond's here. Hello. So, anyhow, I was hoping, Derek was the one that wanted to know all about treble bleeds, and I was going to show him. You have your capacitor only, you have the resistor parallel, and then you have the inline version. But it's a very, very, very simple upgrade. Um, and it does a bunch of stuff. Well, thank you, DJ. But yeah, I was going to show all this to Derek, But we'll go over what we can do. Well, you guys got any questions while I'm here? Then we'll go to the bench, and I am going to, like I said, if you watched the video from earlier today where I did the unboxing from Torsen, the back of the neck has some dents in it, and I'm going to steam those out and then kind of touch it up a little bit. So before I go to the bench, and we'll look through some of the things that he sent. But are there any questions? Because once I'm over there, I don't see the chat that good. That's why I need a co-host, so they could read the chat and tell me, hey, I know a guy. Ian, I hope you're doing better. I really do. Ian, I is this? I may have asked you this already, but is there a chance that you will get better, or no, only worse? You can't see. Man, that sucks. That's absolutely terrible. I'm very, very sorry to hear that, Ian. Slight chance, okay. Well, that's better than no chance. That's kind of how you gotta look at it there. But there, John's got you on praying for you. I actually got you on the church prayer list. And this community, I mean, granted, the majority of us are just connected right here in the chat. Some of us are, private messaging and know each other. Some of us are able to actually meet each other and get to know each other that way. But even just from the chat alone, it's such a great community. You'll have people who may never meet you, Ian, in person, but will pray for you and send good thoughts your way. So that means something. And well, you're on the church prayer list, Ian, so I'll leave it at that for right now. Okay, let me 2 a.m. there, Multi. Oh, hello, Multi. Take the headphones off. Get the chat on here. Did anybody see Dane's video? 2 a.m. Wow. Today with the real nice Telecaster, Fender American. Very nice job. Okay, so this channel, go live. There we go. Yeah, it's a very nice guitar. All right, let me let me switch over to the bench camera, and I will call the trolley in, ding, ding, and I'll see you. Oh, that sure moved. Hold on. I got to fix that. That was from doing the video today for the parts donation. Because I tried to use this camera to do it, and I didn't get it right, so I had to stick my phone up there. Then that, in turn, moved that camera. So, like Rosanna Dana always said, it's always something. All right. Ah, there's Derek. Well, good. Well, we're going to go through a little bit of this. And then we'll go into the treble bleed stuff. Torsion threw this kit in, and this will end up going to somebody who gets one of the guitars. So you got wire cutters. I don't know if you can use those actually for fret pullers, because they're not flush. They're concaved on the ends, so I don't think you can get underneath the fret. But sanding block, fretboard shim, or not shim, protector, acoustic pins. Underneath of that is a neck radius gauge set. We have a 1.5, a 2, a 2.5, a 3, a 4, a 5, a 5, 6, and 6. That of those. Then this is what I said in the video. Everybody laughs when I tell them you can use tip cleaners, but this came with the kit. And the thinner ones, like I said last night, you get a couple cheap vice grips, or channel lock, or no, vice grips, one on each side, and you can use it like a saw. Thicker ones, you don't have to do that too. Got some files in it. Gauge set. And this useless thing here. And then this, I'm going to assume this is a string cleaner, or a fretboard cleaner under the string. Doesn't say what it is. So, I mean, it was nice of him to include this kit. So one of these guitars, when I give away, if it's, obviously, well, I don't want to give it to a kid per se, but like if I get one to another one to one of the vets or something, and get them a kit going, at least so if they have to do something, they have some kind of tool to at least try to fix it, or try to attempt to fix it, I should say. And then I'm glad he sent that. I keep forgetting. I want to turn everything around. But I'm glad he sent that. 2 humbuckers. And then we have the 3 singles. And, that's cut out for the wheel. All the Kelly ones he sent me are cut out for the wheel. So we got 3, these are all wired, ready to go. Just hook up the input jack. Well, these 2 are. Then this one. And this is the one that Tim left a comment on the video from today saying he thinks this is the actual one that was on the prototype. So they all still have the covers on them. But this, you could see this had been played because the film is scratched up where it was. So, got that. This one I'm looking forward to. Got 3 quad rails. These 6 sets of tuners. These 4 conductor, Invader style, P90s. These I already had, and these I already had. So it was all those. So, tell you what, it's definitely going to help. Definitely going to help. Then he sent this neck. Not routed for a Floyd nut, but it could be. But it's got some damage down here, which doesn't matter because that's underneath in a little chunk there, but the majority of the body's up here, so it's not going to hurt anything. What I do want to fix is right here. I'm going to try to steam those out and then see if I can get the color back a little bit. So, and then he sent, if you watch the video, a bunch of other stuff. And I am, as I said in there, grateful for everybody who's donated because it keeps it going, and that's my main thing. So, let me get some wet paper towels. Let me turn on the soldering station to 750 degrees. And I will tell you this, use paper towels, not microfiber towels. Because I tried microfiber towels one day to steam out dents, and it destroyed the microfiber towels. So, we're going with paper towels. Old, traditional paper towels that work. So let me... Oh, he sent me the Floyd too, which was really cool. Because I was basically down to just a bunch of parts on the Floyd. So he did send this. Brand new. And that marking, like I said, I think I said on strings. Every time I look, I put stuff away today, so as I'm looking at stuff, I see it. But yeah, he sent a bunch of stuff, but every now and then you'll see a Floyd like that, and I'll show you here in a minute, with this kind of marking. It's not engraved. I mean, it's kind of like laser etched, but it's not actually engraved like the other ones are. And people tend to think these are fake. These were actually never sold to the public. These are a Floyd 1000, and take away that, the engraving process, which over hundreds and hundreds and thousands of Floyds will save you money. And you just laser engrave it. Probably takes literally 5 seconds to engrave it. And this was, if you were a guitar manufacturer, you were able to buy these from Floyd. So it's a 1000. So you'll see these on Reverb every now and then, and people don't know. They're like, I don't know if that's real or not. And they sell them really cheap. So keep your eye out for that. Because you used to be able to buy 1000s on there before they started selling them to the public. You used to be able to get those for about $125. And now that they have them listed where you can buy them, they're over $200 some. They're like $220 or $240 new from Floyd. So now naturally all the used ones went up to $200. So what I'm going to do, get this very wet. And I'm going to stick it over these spots right here. And we're going to try to steam the wood back out. See how that goes. Start right there. What that'll do, the moisture from this will raise the grain some. Sometimes you get lucky and it does it completely. Sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, come up. Not completely all the way, but but you always want to use the moisture because it's the steam that gets down in there to get that. Yeah, it's coming. We are going to go up to 800 degrees. So I'll steam this off, then kind of dust it off. See if I can get it as close to level as possible. If it comes up all the way. If you use a microfiber towel, man, even though it's wet, it'll destroy it. Hey, Michael B. Tone, RJ. Good. Glad to see you guys. I used to have a big steamer iron, and it broke after years, so I just reverted to this. Raising them. You'll hear some people say you just touch it like that, and you got to do it a million times. I kind of like to let it get down in there, but never hold it in one spot. Just roll it. I don't know if you can hear it. It sounds like bacon cooking in a pan. Those two right there came up really nice. That one's almost there. And don't use the tip. Use the pole part, or not the pole, the heating shaft. Roll it back and forth. Get that. Yeah, those two right there, they're perfect. That one's almost there now. And don't do this. I've seen guys do that. Try to roll it with their finger, and they're like, and then you hear a big scream. Oh yeah. Just so I can see the chat, guys. It's weird because sometimes this really works really good. Sometimes not so much. Yeah, that's really nice there. Those ones, except for that one right there. Let's see if I can get another piece here. Look, I said shaft and piece in the same paragraph. Well, that's what I'm trying to do, Derek. Is I mean, I love just sitting and talking. Obviously, did that for 3 years. But here, I want to do that, but I also want to do stuff that will actually help people on their own instrument, make it easier for them to be able to do it. So yeah, we will do the chats. That's why before you got here, that's why I was telling them there may be a time where I'm like, when I got all my stuff all caught up, it might just be a nightly night chat for a couple episodes. But basically, I want to do live shows or videos on stuff like this that will actually help people. Like you just said, save you from your mistake. Well, and I'm never going to tell you I'm the best at any of this. I've just been doing it for over 40 years. I know a lot, and like I've always said, there's more ways you can get you can get to the same destination by a bunch of different ways. So this is just how I do it, how I was taught. Granted, there's other people out there that do it other ways but get the same results. So I would say, learn from all of it. And then figure out which way suits you best. Or you might take my way and someone else's way and combine it and come up with your own way that works. I didn't want to use glue on that. Yeah. There's more than one way to a Walmart. I love saying that. Again, I have the temperature of this at 800 degrees. I'll show you. I'll take a photo and show you. You don't want to touch it. There we go. We're at 800 degrees, everybody. Oh, wrong way. So you do not want that to stick to your finger. Trust me. Plus, these neck, stands that I make, not only is it cool to hold Allen wrenches and screws, also works as a killer phone holder. And you want it, ideally, you want it to actually come above you want the grain to raise above the surface so you can sand it back down flat. In this instance, though, as you can see, the roasted isn't all the way in the wood. So try to figure out I can get it just up close and then lightly get it. Yeah, that's just remember, Derek and Mad, don't stay in one spot. That's up there. That's just roll it back and forth and apply some pressure. Force that moisture and steam down into the voids. And don't use microfiber. Really, that's done. That's almost there, and that one's just a little bit more. That's the deepest one right there. And I've seen people drop water on there and do it like this too. And no, don't do that. See, you'd be surprised just exactly what you see. You hang around this long enough and watch what people do, and it's like, how do you put your shoes on every day? How do you cross the street without jumping in front of a car? And you'd be surprised, Lewis. You really would. I don't know if you can hear it, but it sounds like baking frying. For another rag, hold on. There. Yeah, paper towels work wonders for doing this. Then you'll see you have people say, "Oh, you spray this first, make sure the water gets down in there." And you can do that if you want to, but I just always do the paper. And I always have bottle of water hanging right there. Right. Fry some bacon. And believe me, I got scars from this stuff. I remember getting asked by a person I did a show with why my hands are all chewed up and scarred and surgeries. I said, simple. I worked for a living. Things happen. Do I want my hands to, did I want 7 surgeries on my hands? No. But it happens. Peggy. Okay, all these were really sunk in when I first started. And that I got it wrapped that way. So, but I'm just showing you. I want to. 100 degrees don't take long. Martian. So yeah, I mean, chances are you have a real job. I mean, I did welding, fabricating, and tool and die making and repair, and then of course auto body. And so when I first got hired at International Harvester or Navistar, it was International Harvester then. My very first job there, I was supposed to start on day shift, and they moved me to midnight. And they made me a press operator for the first year. And man, I was scared to death of getting my fingers cut off. Not to mention the sheets of steel were like razor blades. Man, so close. Come on. I never tried. I never, I mean, I have the hot air side of this too, but I never tried doing this with hot air. Hot air, not hell air. Hot air. Even with the real fine tip on it, it's still going to be, you wouldn't have a very good control. No, Lewis, I'm not going to do it. Because that's going to hit, spread, and next thing you know, everything will start coming apart on it. Like that. That one right there, if I can just get that one. Can't get that one to fill in anymore. Shut that off. But all these were all sunk down in. That one there is still down, but not near as much as it was. The other ones are good to dust them off. Don't want to use sandpaper. Because like I said, this roast coloration is basically just on the top. If I can knock that down smooth a little bit. What I could do, well, you know what? If worse comes to worse and it doesn't work, I could sand it back off. Just restain the entire back of the neck if I have to. But I wanted to show you this trick anyhow. I was going to do it on paint on a body. But then the perfect opportunity gets sent to me via UPS. So what we're going to do, let's give that a few minutes to dry. Like I said, I'm not worried about that. You'll never see it. It's going to be underneath, and it's not going to affect anything in the neck. You can see there's never been any holes in it yet. So we're good there. Yeah, I did at Navistar. There, one was, well, you see him in Gung Ho, Mad Hatter. The presses and all the parts. That was the plant. That was the International Harvester, or well, AKA Navistar. Here's what I'm going to show you. I keep forgetting I got the camera the other way. Filler and ding solution. So we're going to put a couple dabs in here, let it dry, and then I'll have to take a razor blade. Well, that's going to be really, well, if I do it this way, that would work. Can't do it that way. Yeah, it was weird working there and then also filming a movie there. But, let's see. Oh. So we're going to try this. Let this dry a little bit more. That one I think's okay. Just these right here. Let me turn the fan on for a minute and blow into this. Hold on, guys. Yeah, those were, I forget what that one was. 20. We had 400 ton, 200 ton. I mean, they were, the movie didn't even show. Well, they actually showed pretty much all of them, but some of it got cut out. Because at the part towards the end where they decide to save the factory and Michael Keaton jumps in to start helping, that's like, you know, with the fight scene. And when I told Ron Howard about putting the sleeves under his jacket so he didn't slice his arms up, because even Ron Howard didn't realize, he just looked at that as sheets of metal. And I told him, I said, that's like a whole stack of razor blades right there. I said, believe me, a bunch of people in here that will attest to that, because there were guys around there that had lost their hands. One guy lost his, he went to have a cigarette, so he's like this, leaning on the press, and it rolled over and crushed from here off. So it literally cut right there. Then I was on the first aid crew, and I was the one basically scraping the flesh and what, well, looked like some kind of funky soup, scraping it with a putty knife off the plate of the press. All right, so fill and finish glue. How long does this take? Let's see. So instead, well, you know what, I'm going to do this too. Show you another trick. Oh, it wasn't nice, man. That's why I said, you know, that kind of stuff doesn't bother me. I saw a boulder crush a truck, and the only thing left in there was the guy's boots with his feet and part of his shin bones sticking out of the boots underneath, still on the pedals. And then and what was left of his brains was crushed inside his lunchbox, his Playmate lunchbox that was on between him and the other guy. And the other guy, they stopped the truck because they dropped something. So he stopped the truck, and the passenger got out to go pick it up. And right as he got out from behind the truck, a big boulder fell off and literally landed on the cab and just destroyed, flattened the truck. So I've seen all kind of things like that. And all right, so here's what we're going to do. I'm not going to just pour it on there. Try to get it just to drop in with the point. This does two things. It'll fill the dent, and these aren't that really that thick. They're deep now, so but you don't try to fill it all at one time either. You do a couple layers, which make it's better for when you're cleaning it off. Yeah, and that's what I was trying to explain to Ron Howard. I said, you're sticking him up there on that press where that job that it was cutting the door skins for the 1985 International Harvester trucks. And they come out of that press like a freaking, literally like a razor blade. And we don't even grab them. On that machine that he had Michael Keaton do that to, it had a big sheet of steel coil that weighed, I don't even know how much. It's what you see on the back of the semis hauling across country. They got 3 of them. And that machine, and what it would do, it never stopped. So it was constantly feeding those through. And we don't grab that. We do not grab that piece. It would come out and get chopped, and it got shoved down a roller into a rack. And he sends Michael Keaton over there to grab them and help pull them down. I was like, you don't want to do that. You really don't want to do it without the Kevlar. Well, it wasn't a Kevlar. It was a real thick, almost like sweatshirt material, but like real thick. And we had sleeves that would come from here up to here. Then the same thing in gloves. And he had Michael doing that. Ah, crap. My son-in-law's got my heat gun. I guess I could use this. Help dry that. I'm like, I said, that's literally like a just gigantic razor blade coming out of there real fast. And you got him over there to help it? I showed the photo where I was telling him about it. All right. Let's turn this on. Oh. How about I turn this down to 700? It was on 898. Turn it up. Auto. I haven't used this side for so long. Yeah. $8.96. Come on. Come on, why ain't you working? $80. haven't used this for so long, I either forgot how to use it. I bought this particular one with this heat because I thought I was going to start doing some circuit board work. And a lot of times you use the heat, minimal heat on air, hot air, as opposed to I don't know why it's not auto. Come on, pick on. Okay, manual. Like it's not reading the heat gun part. Usually that's what happens when nothing's plugged in like that. Right way, yeah. Shoot a shot of cleaner in there. Maybe it's dusty. But yeah, those presses, man. Then they had the ones. They were called. They called them workos. Workos, and they were like a press that basically. Yeah, I can't. It's not blowing air. Huh. Well, let me restart the whole thing. I probably only used this twice in the 4 years I've had this. There we go. Hear it now? That was it. Oh. Hear it? Oh, it's blinking the lights at 800 some degrees. See if I can get that. Let me drop that down. $700. Let me get that glue to dry a little quicker. See it flickering the lights? And we are at 700 degrees. All right. That's what I like about it. And when you shut it off, the fan still blows till it cools it all back down. 500. Guess I could do that while it's doing that. Or 10. Yeah, the light's not blinking now. 350. 275. $225. Like I'm doing a countdown for the spaceship. There we go. All right. Let me hang this there for now, out of the way. All right. Okay. So, how you fix this now is all right. So you take razor blade, and if you don't have the thinner tape, take a big piece like this. That ain't gonna work. That was do it this way. Stop right there. Slice it down the middle. We're close to the middle. And wrap it up like this. The goal here is to get the edges so they don't scrape into the finish. Do the same thing to the other side. You just have the center section exposed. Then see, that glue not only filled it, it darkened it up. So then, since I can't go this way, you have to take it this way and just start going, scraping it off a little bit at a time. Until you get it smooth. Too much tape on it now. Crap. Too much tape on it. And everyone messing with razor blades, please be careful when you mess with a razor blade, knife, and or any sharp object that can do bodily harm. Hey, Zach. Glad to have you back. I haven't seen you in a while. So eventually you work it down to where you only have it across the actual bottom part of the blade. See, I got to take the width this way Because if I do it like that, it's just going to ride on that blade, as you see. So I have to do that way so I can control how much is coming off of it. This is also how you fix dings on your paint jobs on a guitar. Should have put a little. So the glue not only fills the hole, but it darkens the wood back up to more of its natural color. Put just a drop in there. Now here's a good question. What do I do with the toothpick? Did I glue it to my bench mat? Oh, it's right here. Put just a little here. And use a toothpick, or if you don't want to use a toothpick, you can buy plastic versions of this from StewMac. Like $10 for 5 of them, or for $10 you can get a lot of toothpicks. And I will say, StewMac probably makes the best tools for guitar repair. They're expensive, so I'm sure I'll never have to worry about them trying to sponsor the channel or me, because I talk about how expensive they are. But another thing is lifetime guarantee, though, so you can't complain. You know, it's that buy once, cry once deal. Then you never have to worry about it from now on. Anything ever happens to it, just send it back, and they will send you a new one, no matter how old it is. So you can't complain about that. So again, that's Glue Boost Fill and Finish. So if you have a dent in your guitar and in the clear coat, you can use that. I don't want to fire the heater. Well, I guess I could. Oh, there it goes. That did make it quicker. Because I think before I always let this stuff sit overnight. Oh, here we go. We're back to the blinking lights. Yeah, you can see it drying it. I'm not down all the way yet, so. All right, now let's shut this back off. That's the smallest tip. There's one that's almost size of that, one about half that size, then that one. I'm sure you can probably buy more, but. Cool, man. Just do this till it stops. Never hold it in one, whether the heat or the soldering iron itself. Never hold it in one place. That's when the problems start. See, it's pretty strong. Yeah. It's still warm, so I'll leave it. It's just not 700 degrees warm. All right, so now we come here. I'm going to wrap a layer of this off here. Yeah, I couldn't tell you how many hours I've spent working on guitars over my life. Lots of them. Right. You can see, just getting the glue. Can't go that way because it'd be direct. You gotta do it. You don't try to take all the glue off at once. Just shavings. Right there, dang it. And this isn't a restoration job. It's just to get it so that it's nice and smooth in the back. It does look better because as we're all discolored and deep, and it'll go great on a guitar for somebody. I'll let that cool or dry. And I'll lightly sand it. Where is? I gotta quit moving stuff around. It's right where I remember where I put it, then I end up moving it, then I can't find it again. I have a it's Mr. Mick. I think your prize winnings are supposed to be there Saturday. Your box. I think that was the date. This will work. If you're still here. So just go lightly. I don't want to take the finish off. Just want to smooth it out so you don't feel glue. But you can do this on your clear coat on your guitar, and then start sanding it down, buff it out, and you'd never know it was ever fixed. Kind of like your paint denting wizard for your cars. There we go. Let me go over the whole thing with this, and then just to break up anything off the surface. Because with roasted, you don't have to sand it down, where a lot of people sand the bare necks down. With the roasted, you don't have to. 10,000 might be not enough. Okay, so now let's try this. Again, it's just to make it look better and play better, and not have the deep dents in it like it did, which it does not have now. Put some back here too. No, don't matter there. All right. Thanks to the use of the hot air machine, I was able to do that for you this quick. Usually, I think before I'd let it sit overnight before I did anything. I knew I'd get that on me. The one time I didn't put gloves on. All right. Okay, so you don't feel them. You see them, but you don't feel them. That's the main thing. So if you scroll back in the video and see what they looked like before, there you go. Did all that and didn't spill any glue on the new mat. This is another new mat. All right, so Derek, you're still here, right? I hope. So we will talk about some treble bleeds here in a minute. There you go. Dents are gone. You don't feel it. There you go. See, there's two ways I could have did this, and one is I could have took the Old English first, put it down in there so it darkened the holes, then put the glue over it. But I was thinking, since it wasn't this dark out here, just when you hit the glue to it, it darkened it because it was wet and dry. It would dry that dark color, and it didn't do it exactly as I was hoping it would. So that's why I went over it with the. So it'd been better had I put the Old English on it first. But regardless, I mean, you can see, you don't hear any hole, no, you don't feel them at all, like it's never there. So that's that. They are stainless, but they do need polished. I'm not going to do that tonight. You guys, you got the wheel down here, so that's nice. Got the T's logo. Never had any tuners on it. Never been screwed into a body. So there we go. All right, now let's talk treble bleeds. And what did I do? God, I am tired of losing everything. It's all in my head. I figured, oh, I turned 61. And ever since I've been thinking that, it's like I don't remember. I keep forgetting stuff now. So is that stuff over here? No. All right, this is crazy. I had those papers here. I folded them. And where did I put them? This back. Because I wanted to explain it kind of in. Oh, that ain't it. That drawer's still clean. Come on, this is nuts. It's like they were never here. Oh my God. Oh, wait, I see him. Hidden right in front of me. So, oh, well, yeah, you guys, I showed you these, I think. The Invader style, four connector. I checked them. This one was 18. The bridge was 18, or the neck was 12, and the bridge was 18. The bridge on this was 9 something, and the neck was exactly 1 ohm. It was 8 something. They were matched, but just 1 ohm apart. And then this, I checked it, and I'll do it again right here. 24.3 on this one. That's one of the quad rails. I will check it again. And you guys can, hopefully without being blind, all right. So this one, the red is hot instead of the black, like on Seymour. Black is ground. We are at 24.3. 24.2. 24.3, 42. So then if you go to the split coil, which on a quad is still, you're at 12-1. Yeah, 12-1. So that's pretty neat. I've never used a quad rail before. Yeah. So there we go. And oh my God. Okay. I thought I grabbed the papers. I didn't. Here they are. Let me put this back. Plus, I got into bed last night early so I could get up at, a little after 6. And I only ended up falling asleep. I had like 2 hours and 15 minutes sleep since yesterday. That's another reason why I'm kind of not exactly with it right now. All right. So, Derek, here's your 3 ways. Right there. You got a capacitor, parallel, or the Kinman way, that's a series wired. Cap only, I'm pretty sure that's got to be a 1 meg pot for that to work. And it does only go hold on. Oh, capacitors aren't in here now. Dang it. Forgot they're in the other one. Plus, Torsen sent 2 orange drop 47s today, too. Right here. I can't get out. But, all right. So, how you would do this. Obviously, your third lug here is going to be grounded to the shell, to the back. Then the capacitor would go on the first 2. Obviously, your input jack goes here in the middle. Then your hot for your pickup goes there. And that would go just like that. You want it up. You don't want it touching down here. But you could, I'm pretty sure just a capacitor like that, it has to be a 1 meg pot. That I'm almost positive. So, if you want to do it that way, what did it say? I can't remember. Okay, a 1,000 to 1,500 ferrite capacitor lowers the value. Lower values equal higher frequencies. Higher values equal lower frequencies. So this would be like a 1 meg pot, which is what I have on the White Warrior, if I want to do it that way. Other than that, you have to add a resistor in there and a 100 to a 330 ohm resistor. Your lower impedance is brighter and your higher impedance is darker. So, but here's the main thing. This doesn't increase the tone. People think it'll actually increase your tone. It will not. It just keeps it so when you turn the volume down, when you don't have this, you just turn the volume down, everything, the bass, the treble, the volume, all goes down. When you put that in there and one with a little resistor like this, which that's a then what will happen is you can turn the volume down and your treble bleeds through still. It still stays as it normally would. But good thing I forgot. I told you don't let that touch. Well, I realized right here, shrink wrap. So whenever you do this, get shrink wrap, take it clear up all the way, and then just leave enough of the bare connection to where you can solder. You don't want anything to touch it and mess it up. So I don't have a resistor in. Wait. Do I? I did have one resistor. Where'd it go? Yeah, you would want to make it look like this, so the bear didn't touch anything else. Man, I had one resistor. Where'd it go? Yeah. All right, I don't have it now. So let's just. All right, I'll just use this for a resistor, even though it's a capacitor. We'll make it like this. Pretend that's a resistor. So in series, you would attach it just to one side like that. Like this. This will give you different effects. Now, to sit there and tell you exactly what it's going to do, it depends on your guitar, your configuration, your pickups, type switch, all that adds into it at some point in time. This is the most common parallel. That's when you're just going to jump them across each other. And what a lot of people will do is solder them together like that and then clip the excess off. Some people will take it and actually do it like this. They'll wrap it around each leg. I can't do it. Oh, God dang it. Good thing I'm not trying to play tonight because I can't even do this. So they would wrap it around both legs. Oh, you get the idea. They would wrap it around both legs like this and then solder the whole thing in on the plugs like that. To me, it works, but it's, in my eyes, do it this way. So you can do that, and then just solder those in there. So, but just cut it. Just take it like that. Solder it clear up there to the top. Cut the excess off. Then run your shrink wrap up, all except for just the very bottom where you can just get it through there and in soldered. Then you're good to go. I'm reading your thing, Russell. Yeah, on your resistor, you want to go from 100 to 330. Capacitor could be any. But you can go with just a regular capacitor. But I can't remember for sure, but I think that only works on a 1 meg pot. Now they do make them. You can buy them pre-made like this, which this was from Rich. It doesn't say, because you can buy them for a 250 pot or 500 pot. This doesn't say. So that's why I said the other night. I mean, if I made them, I made them. But if I didn't, if I had them here bought, and I used a 250 on a 250, but I'm sure you could put them. You could put a 250 on a 500. And I don't know if it's going to work as well as. I mean, I'm sure there's a difference, or they wouldn't make the two different styles. But I'm sure it would at least work some. So. But yeah, shrink wrap the bottom so it doesn't hit anything else or any other wire comes over and touches it. And don't waste your time wrapping it around. Matter of fact, do I have a photo of that? Dang it, no I don't. Thought I did. So, yeah, don't just wrap it around it and try it, because then you're going to have both ends. So you have two going in this one slot, plus your input jack hot, and then your volume from the pickup hot. So now you're trying to get three things in there. If you just solder it across like this, it's a much easier and neater process. And you're not having this excess floating around. Because then you got to, what happens, sadly, and I've seen this, I don't know how many times, when the people do it this way, which again works, but it makes it harder than it has to be. Usually what they do, 9 times out of 10, is they will solder the ends together. Not worried about this, just solder the two ends on both sides, because the other side will be over here same way, wrapped around like that. Although I got that one, when this isn't a resistor, it's actual capacitor. So, but they'll have it, something like that, and it looks hideous. So they'll just solder these two together and solder these two together, and then put it in here. If you remember, your third lug here for your volume pot is going to be grounded to the back. So then they'll stick it in like this. So now you got two extra pieces going in each one. Plus now you got to put your other wire in each one of those. But here's the part. When they do it this way, I have maybe 1 out of 10 that I see them put shrink wrap on that. They'll do it when it's just one. But I guess if you get the little shrink wrap like that, there's no way it would go over two. It would only go over just the one piece. The one that, if you had it like that. And then that's just inviting, you could have it on there at all. And if it's a lot of people, most people do on Strat, but you have the little area when you start shoving stuff into Strat, it's just giving it an opportunity to bend over and touch something, or barely touch something, or one of the other wires come through and touch it. So why take the chance and have to redo it again? Just do it right the first time. So, but again, it doesn't add treble. Some people think that this is a way to add the treble more than you normally have, and it's not. It doesn't increase it. It just lets you control it more. I probably should put those in there too. Just do it like that. Solder them together, then cut the excess off. And then there's two of these pieces in here. Cut it in half. And, you only want, when you cover it, you only want like that much showing, just enough to get it in the hole. So you cut each one of those in half, and that gives you enough. So, but this is the easiest and cheapest thing you can do to control the tone of your guitar. These are 47s. They actually need to go down in the other one. And they don't need to, they fit. So, yep. Well, Peggy, I'm all about clean and organization. It can't hurt. And I've, guys I've worked with, when I was doing tool and die, I always kept my bench there clean too. And there's guys have mess everywhere, and they're trying to find certain punches to get to so they can fix everything. Like they can't find it, and the department's like, "Hey, I need that die back now." Well, I haven't even started on it yet. Why not? I can't find the stuff. Didn't we supply it for you? Yep. Where is it? Well, it's here somewhere. It's just so much easier just to put it back. Not worry about it. First thing I'm going to do is cover the entire pick guard on this. But Tim said he thinks this is the one that was on the prototype. I mean, he kind of works for Tees every now and then. So I'm assuming he would know. So we got the jack and then the bridge ground. That's all you got to hook up on this. But yeah, I want to cover this entire guard. Let me do that now while I'm sitting here thinking about it. Oh, hey, Tim, there you are. Yeah, that was a great donation package he sent today. I think it's just great, man. And everybody who's helped. Let's see. He sent it Monday. It went out Monday night or Monday evening, and it came today. Thought that was pretty quick. I'm amazed because the people I've met here in over 3 years now are, well, pretty much most of them are pretty genuine and willing to do whatever it takes and willing to help people out. And that gives me hope for humanity yet. And I am so grateful for that. I mean, I need to get some more photos, some better photos, Billy, if you could take some better photos for me of that guitar, and I'll do a little couple minutes short about the 500 subscriber giveaway, and I'll show some better photos of it. Get that going that way. This right here is the best way for humming on a especially on a Strat. Cover the entire pick guard. I know there's a strip there. I'll use the little one. And even then, this is the best you can do it right here. But it's still not 100% because there's still going to be a gap around where the pickups go through. But if you have a problem with noise from your Strat, do this. Cover the entire back of the pick guard, put it all back together, and I guarantee you it may not take it all away completely, but it will be a lot better than it was. I guarantee it. I don't get this, but actually I'll cut this out and use that. And this is part of my OCD thing here. I like to try to get it as smooth as possible so it, just looks professional. Because how many times you see, you even go buy a $2,000 guitar and the shielding is just like, looks like this underneath of it. I just don't understand why a lot of people just don't take pride in the work anymore. I mean, I don't know. I don't get it. I mean, we've all heard if it's worth doing, then it's worth doing right the first time. I just don't understand why someone would want to put something out there that looks bad and not care that it looks bad. You know what I mean? I just don't, I can't comprehend that. make sure my batteries didn't die on this headset. Can you guys still hear me? All right. Thank you, Tone. Yeah, it's the one thing about this. It doesn't tell me when it dies. It just dies. It's like the other day I was on here and all of a sudden I kept seeing in the chat, "We can't hear you. We can't hear you." If you do buy this copper tape, make sure that the adhesion for it is conductive also. So when it all touches, this completes all as one piece. You know, I would agree with that, Peggy, but still, you know, when you're buying a somewhat expensive guitar, you would think quality assurance would be top dollar or top, you know, one of the top priorities. At least it should be. Because, you know, if I was the owner of the company and I'm asking people to spend $2,000 on a guitar that maybe costs $1,200 to build, if that, and then they come home and take it apart and find messed up, you know, it's just not the quality, eventually you're going to have a hard time selling that guitar for that much. So you would think they would want to make sure. But yeah, I mean, if you're in a assembly line type deal with a guitar company, yeah, I could see that. But if you're doing one that you know is actually called custom, then you would expect to have custom work done to it. It's just something to the younger generation. I mean, I'm even talking younger than Carrie's my youngest, and she's going to be 30. And she started working at age 14. Cole started working at 14. And then all through college, he worked. And at one point in time, he actually had 3 jobs at one time. Never called off. Carrie was the same way. And I see kids now that are, you know, in their junior, senior year of high school and don't even want to cut grass because they get sweaty. Like, wow. Okay. And it's scary, you know, that's going to be in the workforce here before too long. I started working at 13 at Bob Bond's Honda shop. Then I worked there, and then I worked at the body shops. I wanted money to take girls out with. And fund my Chevelles. But times are changing. So yeah, this is the best way to do a strat. That whole Faraday cage thing is what produces the noise in your guitar is the pickups. Now, some say if you do this, what I'm doing right here, that you don't have to do the cavities underneath the pickup. This would be just fine. I don't know if that's true or not. I've always done the cavities also, just to be on the safe side. Maybe I've been doing them for years and didn't need to. I don't know, but I have done them. Guy I studied all this stuff with was, well, let's see, I would have been 19 or 20 when I started. And he was probably in his, I'm going to say, very late 60s or early 70s then. So this is how he showed me. And it's just worked for me. So I've been doing it ever since. Trim the whole thing. Yeah, I'm sure he's long gone. He'd be 110 now or something around there. At least 105. So I doubt if he's still around. He had, oh my God, the tools he had for this stuff. I know the soldering gun he had was probably from the 40s. But man, that thing worked beautiful. He always said, they don't build them like this no more. Yeah, they haven't built them like that for, well, that was 84, so. But what I liked about him is he never raised his voice and yelled. If you were doing something wrong, he would watch you and right before you would like take that last step before to actually screw something up, he'd be, before you do that, tell me this. Why are you doing it that way? What's your reasoning? That's what I liked. He would ask you, what's your reasoning behind that? What are you thinking? What do you think it's going to accomplish? Then you tell him, and then that's when he'd show you you were wrong or you were right, or, hey, you know what? Maybe it will work. Let's try it. Which I always thought was pretty cool. And that's the best way to learn. Because if someone stands there yelling at you because they think you're going to make a mistake, you're not going to want to listen to them. You're not going to pay attention. And it just turned into a bad situation. But when they actually make you explain to them why you want to do this and what you think it will do, and you actually learn a lot quicker that way. But I will admit, you got to have some skill, eye-hand coordination, especially when it gets into the routing, stuff like that. You have to have a certain amount of skill to do that. You don't want just anybody to take a router to your guitar body. It'll come back looking like Swiss cheese. And there was always, I don't know about home ec for girls, but guys in shop class, there was always that one kid in your shop class that couldn't do anything. And he may have been the straight A student in books, but he couldn't drill a hole. So not everybody can do it, but you can learn and know what to do. And, if you want to, you could practice till you get good at it. Every class, in shop class, there was always that one kid. It's like he was being made to take the class by somebody, either for a credit, one credit he needed, or an uncle or someone is making him do it. Very obvious he doesn't want to be there. And that was usually the kid that you'd hear the teacher say, well, I see you're going to be my special project. Of course, now I don't think they could say that. Back then they could. Because now the kid would run home and tell his parents, teacher said I'm special. And the school district would have a lawsuit. So the one kid in our class, he was valedictorian. He ended up being, I'm sure he very close to millions of dollars in his life. Unfortunately, he died like a year ago from a massive stroke, but he was like in charge of a bunch of hospitals. He was in shop class, wanted nothing to do with shop class. And there was another kid in our class that couldn't do anything but shop class. And he ended up paying him to do all his projects for him. So the kid would be working on his own project, and he would always pair up with the guy didn't want to do it. And whenever the teacher was around, it looked like he was doing something. But the minute the teacher, and our teacher was also a football coach, so about 75% of the time he was never there. Which I don't think you'd get away with that now either. There was always, what if there was an accident, someone got an arm cut off. But here in Shadyside, football ruled. A lot like that movie that the actor just died. What was the name of that movie? He's a high school. He was like backup quarterback, and the starter got hurt. What was the name of that movie? What, Van Pelt? Is that the kid's name? Well, not a kid now. He played the second string quarterback that got the first string job and didn't want it. But that, the whole town was football. What's the coach want? Blah, blah, blah. And that's exactly what this town used to be when I was back there in school. Parents would sit at the coffee shops in the morning and discuss what you did wrong. They'd tell the coach, and it was like, if you won a game or you were like one of the star players, any of the restaurants here in town, you didn't have to pay for anything. If the coach had a winning season, he could go eat steak dinner and not have to pay for it. So, anyhow, that's the best way to shield a strat right there. Here is a way you can do I keep wanting to turn stuff around. So, that's it. Tim, you got Varsity Blues. Yeah, how that town was, football. That's exactly how this town was up until about, I graduated high school in June of 83 or May of 83. And it was there, and it was still like that up to about 10 years ago. Now the coach that replaced the coach I had, who had the winning seasons all the time because he treated us like crap. And so you didn't want to lose and get on his bad side. And when he retired, the coach took his place. Isn't like that. He's one of those, just being on the field's good. Everybody gets a trophy type guy. And we went from being division champs, state champs, to now, I think, last season, I think they only won one game. The season before that, they won 2 games, and then they still made it to the state playoffs. Like, what? That whole everybody gets a trophy thing. I mean, if we lost, we got screamed at. And if you did a bet, well, I did this on purpose at one point, but if you screwed up during a game, big time, on an away game, he would make you'd get the speech after the game and hear how stupid you were and how hard-headed you were and why you even out here wasting his time. And then, but he would send you'd ride home on the bus with the band. And then it got to the point where he'd send you with the cheerleaders. Well, when he did that, I was like, oh, wait a minute. I screwed up real bad one game just so I could ride home the 2.5-hour ride on the littler bus with all the cheerleaders. Then when the other guys told him I did that on purpose, he got mad at me some more, and I wasn't going to do it no more. You gonna go outside? You gonna go outside? I will be right back, everybody. Hold on. Hold on. I'm trying to see if I can get that to turn on. Oh my God, steps hurt. Okay, can you guys still hear me? Can you still hear me, everybody? I had to shut this off so you didn't get all the static. I turned it back on, so I hope it is connected. It looks like it is. Yep. Thank you, Peggy. You know what? I need to take the shim out of this one. So I might as well do that while I'm sitting here. You know, if I get this, the next guitar with a Floyd that I give away to some kid, I think the next girl guitar or that a guitar goes to, Greasy had sent me that stainless steel upgrade kit. It's pink. So everything you see here that's black would be pink. Black and chrome, or pink and chrome. I might do that for. Might do that. Make a pink one. So this is a 1000. It's just a little bit altered. Oh, that one says E on it. This one say B. Oop. No, this one says 2. E 2. Yeah, but there's the pink hardware kit. These would be pink. The blocks would be pink, and these screws up here would be pink. I think it'd be kind of cool. Now, as far as the factory blocks go, Peggy, I probably got 300 of them in there. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, E. That's how they're coming off. And they're the right height, so that's the order. So it's 1, 2, E. Oh my God, I wish they'd make up their mind. Get everybody used to one way of doing it and then change it. I sent Dane a bunch one time because he was on there. He'd lost one. I think it was a customer's guitar. And he had to take one off of his guitars, or out of one of his guitars off the wall while he ordered a package of, I think he got 5, I think he got 6, one package of 6. And then I sent him the stainless ones that he used on that guitar. Okay, so it's 1, 1, 2. So I wonder if this is a new American version too. 1, 2, E, not 3. Oh. That one looks like a cross between So, yeah, that's how those go. But here, I'll show you, Peggy. Look here. This is just one drawer. You know what? I will put I'll put the pink set in it now. So it's already there and ready to go. I have another drawer full of the regular factory black blocks. Anybody needs some? You guys happen to win a prize? Remind me, and I'll throw a handful in of them for you. So, I mean, I understand, you know, the chrome and black and then all that, but I think it just, if you're gonna upgrade it with stainless steel, which that's stainless, anodized, why not just make it look your own or whatever, fancy or whatever you want to call it? You know what I found out best for that, Peggy? Before I say it, let me find it, because I used it today. Right here. Just run a magnet across the floor till you find it. And the reason that was right here is because I dropped the whole thing of screws today on the floor. And since I can't bend over very well and get on my knees to get them, extended magnet worked just fine. Don't need those right now. I got that copper tape stuck to the floor down here now. That's the Allen wrench. All right. Take that stupid shim out of here. Yeah, I don't want the pink on anything of mine. So this will be the next Floyd Rose that goes on a guitar for a girl that wants a Floyd Rose. And it makes my heart happy when I see a girl who idolizes Lita Ford. Like, yes. Is there just one of those or three? Just one. Okay. So one of these black screws aren't going to go in. It's not going to go back. It's going to be replaced with a pink one. Taking this out to throw that stupid shim away. Goodbye. Wipe this down. So yeah, it's I love Floyd Rose. It is by far my favorite bridge out there. Period. No ifs, ands, or buts. And again, if you're using your Floyd Rose decked, you're only using half your Floyd Rose. 1, 2, don't need that one, because I have one pink one. Yeah, just one. Well, that's good. Did he charge you for it, Peggy, or was he nice and gave it to you? If he was just laying around, you'd think he'd say, you know what, here, just take it. And here's an extra one. Well, I can understand that, I guess. If you lose another one, Peggy, let me know. My luck, I'll get this ready in pink, and then I'll get a phone call from one of the guys saying, hey, I got a girl here that wants lessons, but they can't, they need a guitar. And I'll be all happy and take us out there to her, and she'll look at it and say, ooh, pink, that's girly. Man. That would be my luck. Should be like some goth metal girl or something. We got one pink one. There was only one of those. So. Hey, Max. Thank you. Speaking of girl bands, one of my favorite, and they're no longer a band anymore, which upsets me. But their most popular song, I believe, by far. I love the video for it because she's got the girl. I don't even know her name, but the girl who sings, she's like a lead guitar player and a singer. The whole band's girls, and they have a song called "Rock Me Like the Devil," and the band is called Crucified Barbara. If you guys want to check that out on YouTube, do it. Definitely a cool vocal style and really nice song. It's hard. It's hard rock, kind of. but it's good. Then I found out about them after they were already weren't a band anymore. Yeah, Crucified Barbara. I can shut this off now. Now I got the song in my head. I can't believe I'm actually sitting here putting together Pink on a Floyd Rose. Never thought those two words would go together. Pink Floyd. Well, there you go. Pink Floyd. Pink Floyd Rose. Spice Girls, no. No, Peggy, this is Crucified Barbara. Watch the video. It's like takes place in like a kind of like an old log cabin. It starts out her rocking in a rocking chair. But her voice is just so metal, you know what I mean? She wants you to rock her like the devil. Played that for a buddy of mine, and he fell in love with her. He was on a quest to find her. So you're trying to get arrested for stalking? So, yeah, we'll get this. And if she doesn't want Pink, I'll tell her, well, give me another day and I'll change it back. I mean, it is stainless steel upgrade, so. But now they have pink, the purple that I put in the rainbow guitar, and they have a shade in between. It's like a light pink, which they haven't had that very long in these upgrade kits. So it was kind of cool initially, and I hate to admit this. Initially, I thought about putting two of these, just two pink, in that, because right where that on that rainbow and it's pink right there, then it goes into purple. So I thought about just for a split second. Then I punched myself and realized no. I was yelled at the mall a few years ago. We were at a hamburger place out there, and me and a buddy, well, me actually, there's like 3 or 4 of us sitting there, and they started talking about painting guitars and cars, and then one of them said, "Hey, you need to get Ron to do a pink guitar for you," and I'm like, I hate pink. And I didn't say anything else for a little bit. And about 5 minutes went by, and they asked me something else, and I didn't answer that question. I just looked at them again and said, I hate pink. And there was this girl, probably, I don't know, probably 12 years old or whatever. Her and her mother were sitting behind us, and she turned around to me and goes, "Hey, mister." I said, "Yeah." She's like, "What don't you like about Pink?" She thought I meant the singer. I think Pink the singer's got a killer voice. Uh-oh, that one don't fit down in there. Neither does that one. What the heck? Greasy. What? These don't. Oh, it fits in that one. Okay. Why won't it go in this one? If that one fits in there, then it should fit in this one too. And it don't. So what's major malfunction with this thing? Number 2. Won't go in. Won't go in. Look. But they go in this one, right? Yep. All right, let me put it in here. Yeah, so she thought I hated the singer Pink, and I tried to explain to her I don't like the color pink. Of course, she thought that was stupid too. But her mother's apologizing. I said, no. I think it's great. She has that much passion for somebody like that. Look at that. Open the drawer. Right where the files were. My God. Imagine that. I'm going to take some out of the side on this. Oh, wait a minute. Hope I don't. I'm not going to say it. Never mind. MPN, if you're still here, you probably know what I was going to say. But I won't. Hopefully, it's just the chrome plating may have a little thick buildup inside this one. And where these are colored, they are just a little bit thicker than the standard ones. Almost. So, but here's the thing, you get a problem, fix it. So, yeah, we were talking about that earlier, Derek, about QC issues with guitars. I don't know if that was before you were here or after. Especially somebody like Gibson or even Fender. Gibson prides theirself with their heritage and everything else, and like I said, they're their own worst enemy. They're stuck in that Les Paul. People tell them they need to get more modern stuff, and then when they build it, they throw a fit and tell them, no, that's not a Les Paul. So they kind of like created their own mess. Oh, you want to do a red kit on it, Billy? There you go. You can find some red kits for $60, and then now some of them are going to $66. So you see what I've taken out of here so far. But I want to do it equal on both sides, not just one. So I'm actually counting each one of these. All right. I can also I can do this too. Shave some of this off the sides. Let's do this with the flatter one here. Main thing is, man, you run into a problem like this, don't get excited. It's only metal. It can be fixed. Or the guitar is only wood. It can be fixed. Now, the reason I didn't just take this off to begin with to get it in there is because all these fit in every one of those. Would not fit in this one. So this told me this one is different. So I wanted to open it up some so I don't have that issue anymore. And close. Ah, we are so close. So yeah, it helps, you know. Don't just give up. Try to figure it out. If you're not in a hurry, try to figure it out yourself. But if you can't, then, you know, find somebody who can help you or go to YouTube and find a way there. But don't just like give up. Say, "Oh man, that's it. I'm done." Now that hurt. Fit in there. Nope. Ah. Take off in here. Lower part. Yeah, when you Gibson's got guitars on the wall down there for $50,000, and their cheap guitar, is $2,000 or more, and you get it and you got issues with it, then there's a problem not only with the guitar, but with a company that will, what I mean is just Gibson in general, because Gibson has always been considered one of the best always. But when they're more worried about their $50,000 guitar that they maybe only sell a few of a year, as opposed to ones they sell hundreds of a year, then there's a problem within the structure of the company. It's like, well, I'll make a lot of money off this one guitar, and who cares what these guys get? It's almost what it seems like. And that's wrong. That's the wrong attitude to have. Wouldn't it be cool, Derek, if Smoky Mountain Knife Works would start selling guitars? I think that'd be awesome. Knives and guitars. Like I said, every time we go down there, that's the first place we stop. Yeah, it's just a shame, man. They're just like, we're not worried about these. We want to take care of our customer who spends a lot of money. Dang it. Like right there. Yeah. See it. That won't work. I don't know. Yeah, it's a shame when it gets to that point. They're not worried about the ones they sell most of, and what the general they say. Well, if you're going to buy our $50,000 guitar, it's perfect. And that's nice, but what about the thousands of people that can't afford that? I mean, do you think? Look at it this way. Do you think Gibson can survive as a company if they sold, let's say, six $50,000 guitars in a year and hardly anything else? I don't think they would. So that tells me you need to start paying attention to the more common stuff. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get why you would want to even sacrifice part of the reputation that was built years ago. It's like they're living off that reputation, but they're not honoring it. Because you're not. I mean, my son-in-law bought a new Les Paul. I think he paid almost $3,000 for it, and it had issues to the point where I fixed it. They wouldn't even fix it, so I had it down here and fixed it for him. I'm like, man, that's pretty sad. Because I remember on the back of the albums on Kiss uses Gibson guitars and Pearl drums because they want to use the best. It's just like they've kind of given up on that slogan. Sucks. Maybe that's another reason why I'm a big fan of Grover Jackson and Wayne Charvel. started out of that little company, but when it left the shop, man, it was perfect. There was none of this, that's close enough to work. They'll never notice. I don't get that thought process. Why would you want to? I don't know. That's cool, Greasy. I'm glad someone's getting good ones. And I don't mean that as a joke. I'm serious. I think my son-in-law spent I think it was like 29 plus, tax and all. It was just over $3,000. Well, the funny part is I have seen some Gibsons now that sound better and play better than $2,500 Les Pauls. And it pains me to say that. I mean, if you took a Gibson, I don't know what they sell for, a couple $100, maybe $300. If you took a Gibson and then put, actual Gibson pots in it and hardware and pickups, man. Yeah, Varsity Blues is the name of that movie. Someone else got that a little bit ago, Derek. You're behind. Wow. Yeah, the one my son-in-law bought is it's a 120th anniversary or something like that. He bought it whenever that was, whatever year that was. But I was like, man, are you kidding me? It's right there at the base. Well, I'm telling you, I have seen some Gibsons that are freaking amazing. But I guess if it's who you get to build it over there is a big part of it. I guess some of the builders over there really put some pride into it, and other ones just slap them together to make a buck. But I know a guy who bought probably 5 Gibsons, and the first one he got was a piece of crap. So he actually went to a different builder, and that's where he bought the last 4. And those things, I mean, it's hard. Hard to say it's not a good guitar because they sound excellent. They look excellent. They don't squeal and have the hum. Fretboard, it's even got the nips on the binding on the frets. I mean, they're freaking amazing. I think he paid $280 for the most expensive one. And the sad part is, on the back of the headstock, it's not ink. It's actually engraved in the wood, made in USA. You know, Russell, I hate to admit that, but you're right. But that's also where my son's different with Faith and Failure. They've never played a cover song. They've only played originals from day one. And they've won a lot of crowds over that way. We did it when we were playing about 75-25. 75% originals and 25% covers, especially if it was a new place we were going to, just so they, something was familiar. Yeah, I have to say it's interesting because, like Frank Sinatra, Cole did it his way. But another thing of it also is that the times. We were from 80, almost 85. It was like late 84 to 94. So people was wanting to hear stuff they heard on the radio too. But like now, it's just the times are a little different. But they're doing it and getting away with it. So, man, there is something. I can't get the file down in there. See, I couldn't get it in there at all to begin with. Hold on here. Hold on. So, I wonder if I have. Let's see. Down in there. That will, but I prefer not to use that one. Yeah, those are just point ones. Looks like I'm going to have to use that one. Yeah, it's not the norm, and it took them about a year cranking out like that before people got into it. But I mean, they played relentlessly, and it has worked. I mean, it's paid off, so can't complain. But I don't think they. I tried to get him to play. I tried to get him to do a cover of Cemetery Gates. That'll make you happy, man. Happy mad. All right. Just hope I don't hurt your ears. Someone tell me if this hurts your ears. Let me know. Well, I can do root canals if that's what you want. I was a healer in my other life. Like a spot right down there on the bottom that I can't get the file. Yeah, that's not the norm, but they did it, and they're continuing to do it. God dang it. It's right there in the... I wonder if I could... But I'm proud of them for doing that. I am proud that they stood their ground. They did it their way. Because they've turned down shows because they're like, well, if you want to play here, you're going to have to play some cover tunes. But now it's been 6 years plus, and they've had, I don't know, probably close to 1 million plays over 6 years total on Spotify. So they are getting well known. Matter of fact, the guitar player from Bullet for My Valentine said he would like to have them tour with those guys. So they are doing it, and they're doing it their way. If they end up making it, I mean, they signed with that big company last year, that promotion company, and that helped a lot too. But I know if they made it big, someone would say, "Oh, they're an overnight success." Going on 7 years is not not an overnight success. Don't want to put any oil in there on the side. Oh man, so freaking close. It's like right in the corner, front corners. Wonder. So yeah, they're playing next month in Brooklyn, New York, and they're going up to Battle Creek, Michigan. And they were supposed to do a festival last year in Florida, and then the promoters ended up pulling the whole thing. They were supposed to headline the festival. So I thought Cole was actually going to show up tonight, but he ended up having to take one of their cats to the vet while his wife was at work because he's off on Wednesdays. So I don't know if he's going to come next Wednesday. Yeah, they were trying to, the promoter was trying to get him on a show that was going to be in North Carolina, some festival, a year or two ago. Oh man, come on. That is so close. But yeah, they're trying. I'm very proud of him. He didn't. You know, that's the whole thing with the name, faith in failure, because he tried a couple of times and it didn't work, but he refused to give up. And he found the right group of guys this time. And it's been 6 years. They go to the studio pretty much every month now, or every other month at least. They just did an acoustic version of their song The Fields that was released 5 years ago, like a week ago or something like that. So they went in and recorded the same song but did it all acoustic. I would. So you can check what out? Their page or the song or I can get you there. Hold on. If you like oh man, come on, look at that. Yeah, he's got a master's from Berkeley. Let me get a link. See, this is what I get for trying to do with work with Pink. But that's what it would look like. Yeah, hold on. Oh, heck, it's after 12. I need to stop the bench anyhow. Uh-oh. That's probably going to die real soon. Hold on. Let me switch mics here because it's glowing red. Hey there, hi there, ho there. Yeah. See, so I'm finding out that the transmitters for this headset almost 4 hours, but apparently the receiver is good for a little around 3. So, can you guys hear me now? Okay. And so plug this in too. if you like that, here, God, I got different. Okay, all right. Let me find the link here. Hold on. Sent pictures of me. I don't wear G strings, Peggy. At least not since I was in the girls' dorm in college. Let's see. All right, hold on. All right, wait. Let me. Let me find this for you guys. No, not Faith Hill. Where is the official Faith and Failure link? Okay, here is their YouTube channel. Um, all right, let's see if I can put it in the chat over here. There you go. Right there. That is their official channel, and they have playthrough videos. They have a couple videos they did. The guys from Slipknot love their song Pestilence, if you like that type. If you like Avenged Sevenfold, and then I would start with hold on. Troubled Times, and then Sleepless. So, oh, you're listening to Pestilence. Yeah, the guys from Slipknot actually post on social media that they loved that song and said, if you're not listening to this band, then you're losing out on stuff. Yeah, I like Sleepless a lot, and Touched by the Moon. Progressive metal, more or less. And let me find the other one for you. Hold on. Yeah, here you go. I can't play it. Here's this video. This is the one I told you earlier. This is Crucified Barbara. Yes, my son is the lead guitar player with the long black hair. He writes all the music. Their singer writes the words. He's got 2 degrees in music. One, wait, hold on. How do you stop a ring on the G string on on the Jackson guitar? Is it a Floyd Rose? Do you have the string completely centered in the holder, in the saddle? The easiest fix would be you don't have it centered in the saddle and it's riding on one of the edges coming out of the saddle, which will cause that. And if you have it in the middle and it's still doing it, so it's got a locking nut on it. Locking nuts don't, I mean, they go bad eventually, but usually it takes a long time. Okay, so is it in the saddle in the middle? Is the ring or the string? Yeah, the string completely where the string wraps down into the block. Is it in the center of that slope? Is it the same nut? Or did you change the nut? Hmm. Okay, they have. Okay, open string ring. Okay, I understand that, but is the string in the center of the saddle completely? Because you can get a, um, I mean, a nut could be. Are you using a wound G string or not? Mm, so that would be let's see. Hold on here. I know it's going to sound like a stupid question, but if you look where the string goes in, you have to have it. I've had them before come here where they're like, man, it's got buzz right there, and open string. And what it was the string was a little bit off center and it was kind of riding up on the edge of where they go down in there. And that can cause it. But if you try two different guitars and they're both doing it, did you adjust the truss rod at all? Yeah, that's one thing. Because I literally I had one a couple weeks ago. Why is that? Oh, okay. I had one a couple weeks ago, sitting there playing it. Like, why is it buzzing? It was on the B string, and everything was fine. I'm like, why is it? And I got to looking, and it was not dead center. It was off more this way towards the, well, they consider this the bottom. I call it the top. It was more this way, and it was not in the center. It was riding on that edge a little bit, and it was making it buzz. So check that first and foremost. The fact that you had two guitars both doing it, I mean, the odds of the saddles being bad on two of them, or the nut being bad on two of them, uh, is rare. And I'd almost have to see it here. If I had it here, I could fix it for you. Because I'm going through my mind the different, bad saddle, but two of them with the same bad saddle? No. Two of them with a bad neck? No. You just said it was leveled and straightened. It's still doing it, so that's not the issue. But you might want to crank just a little bit more relief on the truck. And I'm just talking a little, not a lot, just a little, eighth of an inch turn more relief, and see if that does anything. In the 80s, well, the problem being in the 80s, you could only get a real Floyd on a Kramer. They had that wrapped up. So everything else was licensed and made by someone else. And I think Jackson had a couple different companies over the years make them until the deal wore off or ended, where every guitar manufacturer could buy them then. But Kramer locked it up with Floyd Rose, so you could only buy a guitar off the wall with an actual Floyd Rose was Kramer's in the 80s. Then I think it was 91 that ended, 90 or 91. But what people were doing was just buying whatever guitar they want, then buy a Floyd and put it on it. Like I did with my ESP M1 Custom. So Schaller made some. There was different companies that made them, because I don't think any of them did it for 100% of the time until they were able to put actual Floyds on them. It was kind of like, I think it was like a lot of demand. If you had a company making them and they were good doing it, then all of a sudden there was a demand they couldn't meet, then they would find somebody else. So but if you ordered one from Grover or Wayne, well, mainly Grover, because they weren't really finished when Wayne owned the place. But if you ordered one from him, from the shop, then he would put a real Floyd on it. Or you could send one to him and they would put it on it. But when it went to the stores in the 80s, and you went to a music store to buy one, then they would have the license die. So there was a bunch of, for lack of a better word, a bunch of sneaky stuff going on around that time. So because I had that Model 2 that I showed the photo of the other day, that had a license by Floyd tremolo on it, and it was terrible. And I tried everything for about 2 weeks. Of course, we didn't have the stuff then that you have now. All the stainless upgrades and all that stuff, and I just couldn't get it to work. And I ended up ordering a Floyd for that, put a real Floyd on it. So I've never tried the titanium blocks. This titanium is a lighter metal. So in my mind, you get the big fat brass block because it's heavier and there's more mass. If you get the same size titanium block and it weighs half, isn't that defeating the purpose? But you're paying twice as much or more. I don't know. Yeah, Rez, I would say make sure it is in the middle and all the way down, touching the bottom of the saddle, directly in the middle. But you could buy individual shims and put one shim under the saddle, or as many as you need, actually, if you had to. Replace the nut. But I'm thinking maybe if you put a little bit of relief in it, just a little bit, that might take care of it. But again, I'm just guessing because I don't have it here. If I had it here, I could do it for you. Get it all done. Yep. So with that, it's been 3.5 hours. Time for me call it and try to get some sleep. So Oh, wait a minute. The phone over here. What am I looking at, Billy? Oh, you're welcome, Riz. Oh, okay. I have to save these to the computer, and then I can do a little video and bring them up on the in the video. Do that on the 500 subscriber guitar giveaway. And I'd like to thank Billy Ray for doing that. Out of kindness and wanting to help the channel grow, Billy's offering one of his own guitars away when we hit 500 subscribers. So we will pick the winner, and I will forward your address, whoever it is, to Billy, and he will ship the guitar to you. So there you go. All right. So with that, I am going to play the intro, outro again. And 3.5 hours. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do 2 hours tonight. All right, everyone. With that, good night. Thank you for hanging out. And I will be here. Excuse me. I will be here tomorrow. I should be on Laz's show tomorrow. And I think Rob from Tessie Switch will be there. Then I'll do one Friday and then Saturday. And hopefully, if Dave does get here on Friday, I can get him on here, or at least have him in the background playing bass. Who knows? So again, thank you, everybody, and I will catch you on my next one.